All right, let there be light. Let there be light. What's good in the hood? Make sure I ain't got no eye boogers. What's up? All right, happy Saturday morning for y'all, man. And you know what you doing today? You know what's up? You know you gonna be, on the couch today all day, chilling. What you deserve to do, and or is you gonna be like me? I'm gonna be out and about getting it in. You know what I'm saying? It's Saturday. I can't just sit around and do nothing. That's just me. Um, you know, happy birthday to my cousin Keena. I think she turning 35, something like that, 36. You still a young buck, you know. Great job you've been doing with your son Caden. Caden is getting ready to go to college, and you've been a dynamite mom, and I want to salute you on that. She flying out to Dubai in the morning, so make sure you FaceTime me once you get settled there, so I can enjoy that experience with you. You know, what's up? You know, yeah. So, yeah, she having a dinner tonight, and we somewhere, some restaurant she like going to, and I think we going down there in Waldorf somewhere. But but so hold on for a sec. Yeah, I am. Oh, what? What up? I was gonna say, well, I think you didn't respond to an email, and it could cost us money. Um, for, yeah. Tell him to go to you know, on Monday, or if you could do it today. We need the address, you know. Hey, I'm trying to get access. So I'm trying to see. So, all right, my bad. Uh, oh man, I got my mechanic coming. I think he's here. Uh, My wife thermostat, the light came on, so it needed to be replaced. So he did it. So therefore, we need a another like wire or hose that we had to order, and I think uh I thought that was him pulling up, but it was Amazon dropping off some packages, so I had to run upstairs and sign for it. So I'm sorry, you know. All right, I was just talking about me. So anyway, let's get into the feature. Buckman's Barbershop. This is a big dude, big black man, positive brother. I think he played football for Eastern High School or even HD Woodson. And it might have been Eastern, back in the day. But uh, like all barbers, they desire to have their own shop one day. And Buckman come from the umbrella of the Reverend, um, who was across the street from Fuller's Barbershop, where I grew up and was getting my hair cut early on. But as I told you, Fuller, will have damn near a full shop Saturday morning, and you had to get there hella early. If you came after 12, you wasn't getting out of there till after 3 o'clock. Because one, Fuller only had like uh two barbers in there, and they were older guys like himself. When I was a kid, Fuller might have been 40 or late 30s when I was like 8 or 10 years old. So that's the dynamic of what I'm talking about. And really, they just in there hanging. All his army buddies and everybody will be in that junk in there chilling. They got their cups. You know what's in the cups. And then they'll go outside, smoke their cigarettes or whatever else. That's why they didn't never want women in the shop, because they in there swaying and telling stories, and somebody got a woman story about what them went down, and play by play that everybody want to listen to. So us as shorties, we young men. So he used to tell me, because my grandmother always wanted to come in and sit down, and he'll walk her to the door and say, "Okay, Roxy, come back in the hour, and we'll have your baby ready." So he politely put her out, and every mother that tried to come in there and sit down. So y'all need to check out this movie called "Give Me Five on the Black Hand Side." Um, Glenn Turman is the star of the movie, and Valona from Good Times, Denise Bouet, Bouze. I'm pronouncing her name wrong. I'm sorry. It's Denise Bouvier, something like that. Anyway, Valona from Good Times, the neighbor. She's the star in there as well. Um, one of the characters has a barbershop, and his name Mr. Brooks, and he runs the barbershop, old school, just like he remind me of Mr. Fuller. Old head, got the army buddies hanging around in the shop, and women are forbidden in there because they want it to be. It's the men country club. The women got their salon, and the men got their barbershop. So in this era, and this the era that I come from, men wasn't supposed to be in the women's salons getting their feet and nails done or whatever, and the women couldn't come in the barbershop. That's our space. So that's what I'm used to. The men in that era. That's how they curved it. Now everything they integrated. but I'm still old school with it. Stay your butt out of the women salons, getting your feet done and your nails done, clear polish or whatever. That's not cool. Okay, your woman supposed to do that. Anything pertaining to your feet, your woman supposed to do that. Now, if your feet that crusty, then you do it. Stay out them women shop, sitting there like you might as well put a pink robe on and a pink towel while they doing your feet and all that. I'm just saying, you know. Men in my era, we'll punch you in your face back in the day, but we can't do that now. That's violent. Even if you playing. But anyway, man, you know, they always was like, look, anything go on in here, you don't repeat it to your grandmother or your mama. And he said, you understand me? You a man, right? I say, yes, sir. He said, all right, you part of this country club in here. This is your club right here. So anything in here you do not tell nobody, especially your grandmother and your mama. And so when I seen Mr. Fuller some years back, and he was 80 then. So I hope he's doing well. I think I seen him in 2017 when I went round the old way. I ride through there periodically. I love being in the remembrance of things, and I know people get stuck into right now and the future, but I like to remember the past, especially if it was good for me and to me. I don't forget the past and my childhood and my good times in life. So that's why I love to talk about back in the day when I was young, when I had hair, you know what I'm saying? I had waves going. I kept the fresh taper. I was in shape. I had all the women running behind me trying to get my number and to date, and I was running behind them too. Believe that. So I'm just saying, I love remembering them days. So I just feel like folks that don't like talking about back in the day, you ain't got no good memories to remember. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't nobody getting beat up and getting taken for bad. So that wasn't my story. So I love reminiscing about back in the day. I was around some good friends. We had some good times, and I mean, it was just awesome. But I'm getting off script as I always do. But anyway, Buckman was one of Reverend's barbers as a young man. He brought him in, allowed him to get his hours so he can get his license, and he worked there as a barber, for like many years, maybe his whole high school career. And now, mind you, this in the 80s, all right? So I know Buckman is older than me, because I was a shorty, like 10, and he had to be like 22. No, he had to, if I was 10, then he was maybe 18. So let's say he was 8 years older. Yeah, he was 17 or 18 working in Rebs. I know that. When I was 10. I'm 51 now. So he got to be maybe 62, 63 now. But anyway, when I moved to Maryland, out in Forestville, and the apartment complex was Amblewood. I moved with my girl, and and then we moved to a bigger space over in Forest Creek maybe a year later. But going up Pennsylvania Avenue to hit Route 4, the apartment complex, not Series Square, but if you got to the gas station where you see the McDonald's at, That was Amberwood when I moved to Maryland in '93. When I became a Maryland resident, you know what I'm saying? And so so I say maybe a year later, I see the sign up there. It says Buckmons Barbershop. So the young lady I was dating at the time, God rest her soul, rest in peace, Angie. Um, and her sons were Sean and Dewan. And so I used to take them to get their haircuts up there. So um, you know what? His barber shop probably was already there. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was. And so when I moved to Maryland in '93, Buckman Barbershop was there. And I didn't know that that was the dude from Red's Barbershop back in the day in DC by the Navy Yard, because Rev and Fuller Barbershop was like the Navy Yard right here and the Marine Barracks right there. So they were in a great location. They had Marines and the Navy officers and soldiers in there getting haircuts on the daily. And uh I would hate for Fuller to cut my hair because he'll give you the military fade, not the cool fade that we used to wear, back in the day. And Fuller had his brother Dave or one of their cousins. I forget their cousins, but later on down the line, when Fuller had about probably 12, 15 kids. So when the his sons started growing up and getting licensed to cut, they became barbers. And I grew up with one of his sons called his name was Shaka, and it was one under him that was under us that he became a barber as well. And uh, so yeah, I used to hate when Fuller, you sit in the seat and whoever back in the day, you wasn't waiting on a particular barber, whoever that was available, you got in their chair. All this appointment stuff and that wasn't they wasn't playing that. They get you in, get you out. Whoever chair became available, that's who you sat in. So, you know, uh excuse me, I just got finished eating some Panera. But so whoever chair that became available, that's who chair you sat in. And and uh 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 so you got your hair cut, but Dave, his brother, was the better cut, the better barber of the latest style. He knew how to do the temple tape, the taper that we like to wear, but he was so used to my fact. Mr. Fuller started cutting hair when he was in the army. So he was an army barber. So he's used to cutting the crew cut, the fade all the way up, on your temple instead of right down, you know, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. The way we wear it in DC or the cool fade. That's what I used to call it. Not the army or the military fade, but the cool fade. So anyway, you know, so Buckman's, I kept every time I went in there, he a big dude, about 6'5", big black dude, And I'm like, man, where I know this dude from? I don't forget a face. I'll forget your name in a heartbeat, but I don't forget a face. And I just couldn't place where I know this dude from. And he's the owner of the shop, you know? And so I heard him talking one day. I'm famous for ear hustling. When you talking and you talking around me, just know that I'm listening. I'm very much listening. Whether you want me to or not, I'm very much listening, okay, to what you talking about. Because if you're talking that loud, then I feel it's my duty to listen to what you're saying. So anyway, he was talking about 7th Street. 7th Street is where I grew up at, which was the Arthur Caper dwellings, and we call it Capers. And my grandmother lived on the other side of the bridge, which was Allen Wilson, which was 7th Street. You know what I'm saying? So that was my hood. I lived between two hoods. I went to school in Southwest when I went to Jefferson because I played baseball there. And my school, high school, I was supposed to go to was Easton, but I went to Spingarn because I followed my cousin over there. And then my father took us out of Van Ness and Capers and sent us up to school to Lenox, where my grandmother lived. And Lenox closed to become a vocational school. It's a gym now. And we went over to Gideon's. So I went to 3 elementary schools. So we kind of bumped around. So what that did, that made me socially strong because I came in contact with different folk. And and then when our homeboys from 7th Street, because we eventually moved to 7th Street, Allen Wilson dwellings, and then one of my boys, Tony Belly, moved up 1000. And so we used to go up there to see him, and he hung in Potomac Gardens, and the building behind there. My girlfriend at the time, Angie, her girlfriend lived in a house. What's her name? Crystal, I think. I think it was Crystal, but she lived behind 1430L. So we had to pass 1430L to get to Crystal House, where we used to go up there and hang. And it was crazy. I got a crazy experience with that. Young ladies and guys, young or old, stop telling your business to everybody, even to your best friend. Stop telling your business, so much of your business, like every detail. Nobody should know how well your lover is, how good they kiss, and woo 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 and all that. That's not good. Cause I was in a situation with Crystal from Angie. Angie used to tell Crystal everything. And Crystal came on to me. You know what I'm saying? She like out the blue kissed me one day. And she was like, yeah, she right. You do have soft lips. I'm like, oh, what the hell? You know? And I never told my girl that she did that because I thought she was bugging or something. And then I really believed that my girl wouldn't have believed me. So I never said nothing. And she ain't, when she saw that I didn't take to her advances, and then I was confused. I didn't know if she was coming on to me or not, or she just really wanted to kiss me to see, was the kiss, whatever Angie kept saying that it was. So my fact, I went out with 2 Angies back in the day. So yeah, because I'm confused on which one it was. Anyway, so stop telling everybody your business, especially details. And I had a homeboy show us a picture of his lady, like in her birthday suit. And I'm like, I looked at the picture and I'm like, okay, yo, what you doing? You don't share this with everybody. And he really didn't understand that. We probably about 17 at the time. So I think I was kind of advanced in my years because, I became the man of the house at 12 years old. So I took on an older persona and demeanor. I had young sisters under me. So I was the oldest and the only son. So yeah, so I think I was kind of mature for my age, starting at probably 12 years old. I wasn't on a thinking pattern of my fellow 12-year-old friends, because I've been put in a position of, you're responsible for your moms and your sisters when I'm not around. My father gave me that badge to wear, and I wore it proudly. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I told you I be segueing, getting off subject. But anyway, at the end of the day, uh I heard Buckman talking about Red's barbershop and the light bulb came on. I said, that's where I know you from. You was one of the young cats in there cutting hair in Red's barbershop. And he said, yeah. And then he looked at me. Of course, we all look different now. We done grew up, got mustaches and beards. And he was skinny. Now he a big dude, I mean, he was a stocky dude, but he big as a house now. Like the dude refrigerated, that played with Chicago. So if you know who William Purr is, the refrigerator, that's he looked like him, a big dude, big black dude. Good dude though, Buckmons, And so I just want to honor and salute my man. The barber shop not there no more. This was in the 90s. He was there like 89 throughout the whole 90s, if I remember right. I moved from that part of Maryland around 97-ish, from 93. So I was only there for a year. So I don't know what happened after that with his shop or how long he stayed. But as I ride by there periodically, I don't see the name up there no more. So somebody else got that spot. And he had some good brothers in there cutting hair. And it was a salon shop, a lady owned the salon shop, and it was a good neighborhood. When I lived there. And it was I heard it was kind of crazy in the 80s, as if Bright Seat Road and what was that? What is that over there by Landover Mall? Kentland Village, that's what it was, Kentland. All that was Maryland, it was like DC in Maryland. Their hood was like, it was real drug infested, but they cleaned that up, and they ran the riffraff up out of there, or everybody went to jail or they killed each other. So when I was coming through there, and I lived in Brentwood, no, I lived in Bright Sea Road, Lansdowne Village, and I lived in Amblewood and Forestville on that side of town. And I think all the little spots that was close to DC at the line, they probably had the DC traffic coming in there. I'm sure they did, but PG don't play. PG, they don't relaxed a lot, but in the 80s, PG didn't play. They didn't have no black cops on the force in the 80s. Yeah. And you see what's going on in Minnesota and these places, in the 80s, that's how it was in this area. DC always been, they not quick to just throw the book at you. They want to they want to rehabilitate you, which is a great thing. But some people don't need rehabilitation. They just need to be locked away because they are the individuals that push the line. It's people that make mistakes and they're regretful, remorseful. That's who need the rehabilitation. But when it's in your mind to do wrong every step of the way, that's who need to be where they need to be at. You know, I don't condone you out here hurting people for nothing. And just like this lady on the news named Miss